Hey, what's up everybody? This is Travis back again with Big Boy Toy Reviews with another review for you. Gonna try to get a review out every Tuesday and Thursday for right now, until I get a bigger fan base and better money flow for figures. So for right now, we're just gonna keep it to Tuesdays and Thursdays. But anyway, today I am going to be reviewing Figma 174 Sword Art Online Kirito, as you can see right there at the bottom. This, if you can't tell by what number he is, what product number he is, this is an older figure. This was a re-release. Thank God, because I love the anime. I'm not going to go into big detail about the anime. Just going to let you know you should definitely watch it. It's fantastic. But he is the main character in the show, as well as Asuna, which she is also getting a re-release. So that's going to be later on in the year, I think in June or something like that. So I'll be reviewing her when she comes. But I've been wanting this guy for a while, but before the re-release, he was hella expensive. I think he was running somewhere around $130 or something crazy like that. And I think Asuna was fluctuating between $100 and $150, or maybe even more than that. So when they said they were going to re-release these, I jumped on that bandwagon quickly, and he sold out in a lot of places really quickly. You can probably still find them other places. Probably, you probably can find them on Tokyo Otaku, or what's that? The Tokyo Otaku Mode. I think you can probably find it there, or Hobby Link. I don't know. You might be able to find it up. But anyway, here's the front of the box. I don't want to keep rambling. Here's the front of the box. You can see the figure there. Figure here, two faces, two swords, two scabbards. I have taken this figure out the box, so the hands on him, for instance, are not his default hands. They are sword holding hands. So this is the side of the box. Here we got some product shots. There's his two faces. You can see the scabbard there. Let's see. Raise my camera up a little bit here. You can see the other poses that they have on the back. And then here's the other side of the box, top of the box, and the bottom of the box. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox him, and we can take a look at him in the clamshell. All right, so here we got him in the clamshell, and you can see what he comes with a little bit better. You can kind of see the faces a little bit clearer. Character a little bit clear. His two swords and scabbards. Then on the back here we have some slashing effects. There's there we go. It's a little bit better. Two slashing effects there on the back. Then you can also see that he has two things that you can peg into his back to hold the swords. So that's basically what comes in the box. And then you got of course, the hand rack, the baggie, and the instructions. I'm not really going to go through all that stuff. I'll go through the hands, but the baggie and the instructions are pretty standard for Figma. All right, so we got the rack of hands here. Go ahead and get a close-up on those. And as you can see, we have some open hands. We have, this looks like a fist hand. I don't know. This is a sword hand that's a little tilted. Fist hand. Stupid camera, stop doing that. Fist hand. Another tilted sword hand, and another open hand. These, like I said, this is an older figure, so just to show you real quick, this does have the old joints, which you can barely see. Let me see if I can get my light a little bit closer here, and I will show you. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, the older hands had just a hinge and a peg, and that was it. Whereas the new hands have the ball peg in it. So I just wanted to show you that really quick. Let me get my lighting here adjusted. Whoa. Alright, I just had to adjust my light really quick. I don't want to waste a bunch of time doing that while shooting. I'll go ahead and show you the instructions, just because on the older figures they just have the Japanese side. They don't have an English side. So as you can see, it shows you how to put the swords in the little sword holders or the scabbard holders on his back. And there are the swooshing effects. And of course, as usual, Figma stand, Figma base, Figma stand, standard. I don't know if he came with this peg or not. If he did, then then he'll come with the peg. I don't know, it's not really doing much for it, is it? There, that's a little bit better. So those pegs are very useful. As far as the other accessories go, let's take a look at those. Let's go with the scabbards, and then the sword is in the scabbard. So this is one of the scabbards, and it's done really well. Nice matte black on the scabbard there. Let's get it to focus. Pretty simple, and the scabbards are slightly different, and I'll show that off to you in a second, because they do hold these specific swords. So you technically can put both swords in either scabbard, but each scabbard is made for a particular sword. And so we'll take that sword out, and as you can see, it slides in there just fine. This sword is done really nicely. I can't remember the name of this sword, but this was his first sword in the anime. And as you can see, it's kind of a shiny gray on the blade. It's not too bad there. So put that back in the scabbard. And then we have the other sword here. Basic, same scabbard, well, not the same. I'll show you the difference when I put them up together, but this one's done really nicely as well. And then this was his other sword that he had made for him, and that is also done really well. It's a nice kind of greenish blue color. These swords are pretty delicate. I did have an issue getting it in his hand because his hands are pretty tight, and I almost bent this. As you can see, it is a little bent. So be careful with these swords, because his hands are much harder than the swords, and you can easily break them. Just to show you the difference between the two scabbards, as you can see, that's pretty much the difference between the two. That's it. And then we have the two effect pieces. Pretty plain, nothing special about them, but it's nice that it came with those. And then we have the two holders. This can hold two scabbards, and this only holds one. And I'll go ahead and just give a brief reason why this is like this. or why they gave you these options, because in the beginning of the anime, he only had that one sword. He didn't have the blue sword, he had the black sword. So he only had one holder for it. So if you wanted to pose him as he appeared in the beginning of the anime, then you would use this one. Then if you wanted to pose him as he was in the middle and the end of the anime, then you would use these two. And they are articulated. You can spin these around. Basically, you can just spin that one, so they'll go in his back. I'll show you how they go in his back, but they are a little articulated. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, sorry, forgot the faces. He comes with a kind of a sad face, I guess you can say, and it's done really nicely. Typical Figma. They always do their faces really nice. He has the gray eyes, as you can see. It's accurate to the anime. And then he has the screaming face, which is really good. It's done really well. Come on. There you go. It's done really well. As you can see the mouth is open. That's the one I've mostly posed him with. It's just a really good face. All right, and as far as the character goes, here's his default face. As you can see, his hair sculpt is really nice. They always do a good job on the hair sculpts, especially when it comes to the front of the hair. His eyes are done really nicely. Everything is done really nicely on him as far as his face is concerned. You get a good look at the back. And I like the fact that they sculpted most of the back. You know, there's no sculpt, that much sculpt on the top, which is fine. There's some slight indentions, I guess you can say, but nothing really spectacular. But, you know, they did put some good effort into the entire head, so that's really nice. He's really cool. I mean, he's spot on to the anime. So I love this version of him. The matte black goes really nicely with the way the rest of the figure, like the way that the figure is constructed. It suits him really well. There's the other sword holding hands, as you can see. This is a floating crotch piece, so this will move up and down, and it's soft plastic. And it's done really well. It's hard to show with this lighting that it's all black character, but as you can see, the sculpt is perfect. I mean, no complaints at all when it comes to the sculpt. His coattails are articulated, so they can move up and down. They're on. Again, the lighting won't do it any justice, but I can take them out and you can see it like that. As you can see, it's just a simple ball peg or ball hinge. Well, you can't really see, but I don't know how it's coming off on the video, on camera, but trust me, it's there and it works. Let's see here. You gonna give me trouble? You gonna give me trouble? All right, didn't give me too much trouble. And the boots are done really nicely. Let me get this out of the way so we can see the boots. Sculpted really nicely. They're a separate piece. And what's nice is that the actual top of the boot is a floating piece. So when you move his foot up, and it's soft plastic, so it doesn't hinder it at any point. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get on to articulation. He has a typical Figma joint in the head, so that can go, and you can get a lot of movement out of that. He doesn't have, so like I said, it's an older figure, so back then they didn't do the joint in the neck a lot, so he just has the one, but it works just fine. It works really well. And this collar piece is a soft plastic, so it won't hinder him at all, so he can spin 360. he can look down a lot. Look how good he can look down. That's great. I don't know why some of the newer figures can't look down like that at all. I'm not quite sure why. They would go backwards on that, but for some reason they can't. But he looks down a lot. He can't look up that much because of his hair sculpt. It's going to block him. It's going to block the back of his neck. Let's see. This part of the coat is all soft plastic, so that won't hinder any articulation in the waist at all. So he doesn't have an upper ab crunch. It's not cut out there, so he just has the lower ab. He just has the lower ab crunch, but it serves its purpose. I mean, he can get a decent range of motion with that. So I mean, that's cool. He does have a slight upper bicep swivel there. He doesn't have the I guess it's called telescopic. He doesn't have the telescopic shoulders, but they work for what they are. You're not going to really see the joint because the lighting is not really showing that off. But standard Figma joint for the time. So he can get more than 90 degrees and he can get more than parallel. But the coat is gonna pull it down a little bit, but it does have the slit. It does have that little slit in it, if you can see it. So it won't hinder it that much. I showed you the hands already. It's just a peg and a hinge, so it just goes up and down. You're not gonna get any side to side movement with that peg. So that's pretty much it there. Like I said, this is a floating piece. So when it comes to his legs, he can kick up that much, which is really, really good. And then as you can see, that piece is probably going to wrinkle a little bit. And actually, the way that I had him posed before this review, I had him in kind of a static pose, up in the air jumping. And I mean, this piece, when I put him back in the box, this piece was a little warped after that, but it'll go back to what it was because it's a soft piece of plastic. Big knee joint, big Figma knee joint, which is, I mean, it is what it is. They've gotten better with that over time, but that is really noticeable. As I was showing you before, his foot can go up that much, down that much, and he does have really good ankle pivot. So you can get that ankle pivot. You can get him in a lot of different poses. Let me go ahead and show you how it works with the peg. So as you can see, he has two pegs in his back. This peg is for the stand, and this peg is for the to peg in the holders for his sheaths. So this is the single one, and as you can see, it goes in just like that. You can have it any way, and you can just, what you do basically is, where is it? You just slide the sheath in there, and it slides in really easy. And you can get it all the way down any way you want to set it, and then you can basically spin it on that peg anyway, and you can just set it up. If you want to set him up to like he's pulling it out, you just lower it down a little bit, and you can have that set up. So that's how that one goes. And I don't have him pose with that one. Oh shoot, I dropped it. I don't have him pose with that one. I typically pose him with the double sheath holders, or whatever you want to call them, and that's how those sit. And that also swivels on the peg, and you can independently move this second piece. Okay, and you can just stick both of those into his back like so. So you have a lot of options on how you want to pose these. You got a lot of options on how you can pose these. You can pose them like that. You can pose them crossed like so, and just slide the swords in there so you can see. You can have them like that. I mean, you can have them in pretty much any way you want to put it. You know, you can have them like that or something. You know, so he's really, for an older figure, he's done really well. Figma doesn't. Figma, I should say, rarely fails on the characters that they do for animes. I mean, they're pretty much spot on most things, and he's no exception. I think as far as you guys picking them up, absolutely pick it up. I definitely recommend watching the anime. It's called Sword Art Online. They do have a Sword Art Online 2, and they have like a little mini series of Sword Art Online that was between 1 and 2. All of them are good. I like them all. People have their opinions on them. My opinion is that they're all good. There are some other figures that have come out, like Shinon from Part 2. Sword Art Online 2 is out. I'll be reviewing her next week. Who else? I think they have announced that they're releasing some other ones from Sword Art Online 2, and the kind of the middle anime that was in between the two, because in all the animes they had different characters. If just briefly, really quick, basically they're in a virtual world, and this is Kirito's character in the virtual world in Sword Art Online Part 2. So all the characters that they're bringing out are all their virtual characters from the game that they play in the anime. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not really going to go into any more detail about the anime because this video is already running pretty long. So like I said, my recommendation is to definitely get him. Right now he's cheap. Cop him while you can. Because once they sell out, I doubt they'll re-release this guy again, and he's probably going to go sky high again in price. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much all I got to say about the figure. As always, keep collecting, stay safe. Thumbs up my video if you like it. Leave a comment. It all helps me when you do, because like I said, I'm trying to get this review channel off his feet. And it'll really help if I get some love from the people that view the video. So, like I said, keep collecting, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.